It all started during Thursday night's disaster against Denver. Cameras on the sidelines captured a scene that spread like wildfire on social media. Head coach Pete Carroll, red-faced and visibly furious, screaming in McMahon's direction. It wasn't your typical heated sideline moment either. This wasn't one of those quick disagreements that fade into the background as the game goes on. This was different. You could feel the tension even through the TV screen. Carroll's frustration had been simmering for weeks, and in that moment, it boiled over for everyone to see. As soon as the final whistle blew, there were no second chances, no private meetings, no, we'll review it tomorrow. The decision came down fast. McMahon was done. Now, from the outside looking in, it's easy to assume this was an emotional, reactionary firing. But the truth is, this move had been building for months. The Raiders' special teams have been a glaring weak spot all season long, a constant source of chaos and disappointment. Missed field goals, blown coverages, penalties at the worst possible moments. Every week there was a new headline about special teams costing the Raiders momentum or field position. The unit had become a liability, and the fans knew it. But what really broke everything open was that blocked punt against the Broncos. In one devastating moment, the play flipped the entire game on its head. Denver scooped up the loose ball, turned it into a touchdown, and sealed the Raiders' fate. That was the nail in the coffin. Pete Carroll isn't the kind of coach who tolerates recurring mistakes. He's fiery, disciplined, and demands accountability from everyone in his locker room, from rookies to veterans to the coaching staff. So when special teams once again crumbled in a moment that defined the game, his patience finally snapped. Reports from inside the organization confirmed that this wasn't just a tactical decision. It was symbolic. Fire McMahon sent a message to the entire team. Mediocrity is no longer acceptable. Players described the atmosphere in the facility afterward as tense, even somber, but also necessary. Everyone could feel the shift. The reality was sinking in. Change was coming, and no one's job was safe. But as much as the move showed accountability, it also raised uncomfortable questions. Was McMahon really the root of the problem, or just a convenient scapegoat for something much deeper? The Raiders are sitting at 2-7, and no single coach can take all the blame for that. This is a team riddled with issues. A sputtering offense, a defense that flashes brilliance but fades late, and coaching decisions that have baffled fans and analysts alike. McMahon's departure might make a statement, but it doesn't fix the machine. And speaking of broken machinery, the Raiders' real nightmare might be their offensive line. During that same game against Denver, they suffered a loss that could define the rest of their season. Jackson Powers Johnson, one of the brightest young stars on this roster, went down in the second quarter clutching his leg after an awkward collision. The stadium fell silent. You could feel the weight of the moment. He tried to get up, but couldn't put any pressure on his leg. Moments later, trainers helped him off the field, and just like that, one of the team's most reliable pieces was gone. Pete Carroll's post-game comments about the injury were brief but grim. He said Powers Johnson would be out for a while, which in NFL language usually means weeks, possibly longer. It's devastating news for a player who's been nothing short of exceptional since entering the league. Drafted in the second round of the 2024 draft, Powers Johnson quickly became a cornerstone of the Raiders' offensive line. At 6 feet 4 inches and nearly 250 pounds, he brought the perfect blend of size, strength, and intelligence to the center position. He'd started 19 of his first 21 career games and was already earning recognition as one of the league's top young linemen. But on that Thursday night, all of that momentum came to a crushing halt. Once Powers Johnson went down, everything began to unravel. The offensive line, already shaky, completely fell apart. Quarterback Geno Smith spent the rest of the night running for his life. Denver's defense smelled blood and brought relentless pressure. 6 sacks later, Smith walked off the field battered and limping, clearly in pain. And the hits just kept coming, literally. Left guard Dylan Parham suffered a severe ankle sprain in the same game and is expected to miss weeks. To make matters worse, veteran left tackle Colton Miller is still on injured reserve. So let's put this into perspective. 3 of the Raiders' starting offensive linemen are now sidelined. 3 crucial protectors gone at once. That's not a setback. That's a crisis. Your offensive line is your foundation, the heartbeat of every play. When it collapses, the entire offense collapses with it. Geno Smith is now a sitting target behind a patched-up line filled with backups and practice squad call-ups. And here's the cruel part. The timing couldn't be worse. The Raiders' next opponent, the Dallas Cowboys. On Monday Night Football, against one of the most ruthless defensive fronts in the NFL, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and that Dallas front seven are going to come after Smith with everything they've got. If the Raiders don't find a way to protect him, it could get ugly in a hurry. Offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, already under scrutiny for the Raiders' unimaginative and inconsistent play calling, now faces the toughest challenge of his career. He has to redesign the offense almost overnight, simplifying the playbook, adding protection schemes, and finding creative ways to move the ball without exposing Smith to constant pressure. But that's easier said than done. You can't just replace a player like Powers Johnson. He wasn't just a blocker. He was a glue that held the unit together, the silent commander who made adjustments and kept the line steady under pressure. Without him, every play becomes a gamble. Pete Carroll came back to coaching the Raiders with a vision. This was supposed to be a renaissance, a chance to rebuild a culture of toughness and discipline, something that's been missing in Las Vegas for years. Pairing Carroll with Chip Kelly was meant to blend energy and innovation, to spark life into an offense that had grown stale. Instead, the experiment is crumbling before our eyes. The team's record is sinking, morale is fading, and the once promising partnership between Carroll and Kelly now looks like a desperate attempt to keep things from falling apart. Behind closed doors, insiders say McMahon's firing may only be the beginning. There's growing speculation that more changes are coming, possibly before the season even ends. Carroll is under immense pressure to turn this ship around, and ownership is watching closely. The Raiders are a proud franchise with an impatient fan base, and the constant losing is testing everyone's limits. Another season like this could spark a complete overhaul. From the coaching staff to the front office, the energy around the team right now is heavy. You can sense it in every interview, every sideline shot, every frustrated player walking off the field. The Raiders aren't just battling opponents anymore. They're battling their own identity. This was supposed to be the year they took a step forward. Instead, they've taken 3 steps back. And now, with their offensive line decimated and their special teams in shambles, the question isn't whether they'll recover. It's whether they can survive the rest of the season without completely imploding. Here's the hard truth. The Raiders are running out of excuses. Every game now feels like a referendum on the entire organization. The fan base deserves better, and they know it. So the question becomes, what happens next? Can Pete Carroll rally this team and salvage something out of this disaster? Or is this the start of yet another painful rebuild for a franchise that's seen too many of them already? Now it's your turn. Do you think the Raiders can bounce back from this mess? Or are we witnessing the unraveling of another lost season in Las Vegas? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. With the way things are going in Las Vegas, trust me, the drama is only just getting started.